Kody Brown just did the unthinkable. He stood in front of cameras, looked America dead in the eye, and admitted he faked his entire redemption arc. After weeks of watching him cry, apologize, and take accountability on special forces, we finally got the truth, and it's worse than anyone imagined. Turns out, that emotional breakdown, that moment where he admitted he failed his kids, all of it was an act. Kody wasn't having an epiphany. He was cosplaying a soldier. The Fox 5 New York interview dropped like a bomb, and Kody walked back every single tear he shed on that show. He flat out said he had no real breakthrough, claimed he's only partly to blame for his family's destruction, and then delivered the most insane excuse for his behavior. According to Kody, when you're on a military-style show, you just take accountability for everything, even if it's not your fault. That's the protocol. So basically, he was method acting his way through an interrogation while the rest of us thought we were watching a broken man finally face his demons. And here's the kicker. He came home to Robyn. Of course he did. Because Robyn Brown is the puppet master pulling every single string, and Kody is her perfect little marionette. She whispers destiny in his ear, validates his victimhood, and keeps him so wrapped up in her web that he can't see straight. The man we saw on Special Forces, vulnerable and almost human, that version of Kody only exists when Robyn isn't in his orbit. The second he got back to that $2.2 million mansion, she got right back in his head, and any hope of reconciliation with his kids went up in flames. Janelle called it perfectly. These two are equally yoked. Robyn plays helpless, Kody plays hero, and they feed off each other's egos like parasites. She's mastered the art of giving a little power to gain a whole lot more, and Kody's too dense to realize he's been manipulated from day one. While he's out here defending her honor and blaming his ex-wives for the family's collapse, Robyn's sitting pretty in her castle, convincing him that God destined them to be together and everyone else was just collateral damage. But let's talk about what really happened here. Because this isn't just about a bad interview or a man backtracking on his promises. This is about a pattern, a cycle of manipulation, control, and emotional warfare that's been playing out for over a decade. And the most tragic part? Kody's kids are the ones paying the price. Mike Kelty heard that interrogation scene and thought maybe, just maybe, her dad was finally ready to make things right. Now she's walking straight into a trap, and Robyn's gonna make sure Kody stays exactly where she wants him, far away from the children who actually need him. Let's rewind to the moment that had everyone talking. Kody Brown sitting across from Special Forces interrogators Rudy Reyes and Billy Billingham, completely breaking down. For the first time in Sister Wives history, we watched this man actually admit he screwed up. Not in some vague, deflective way, but real, raw accountability. He said he didn't know how to be a good dad or husband. He said he thought he was doing everything right, but he was wrong. He said he hated being blamed, so he became resistant to owning his failures. It was stunning. Fans were floored. Social media exploded with people saying maybe, just maybe, Kody was finally getting it. Because this wasn't happening on Sister Wives, where he controls the narrative. This was Special Forces, where trained interrogators break you down and force you to face the truth. And Kody looked genuinely shattered. His voice cracked, his eyes welled up. He admitted that his relationships with his children were destroyed because of his own actions. For weeks, viewers watched him struggle through physical and mental challenges, and something seemed different. Away from Robyn for a week and a half, away from the echo chamber of their mansion, Kody almost seemed human. There was no anger, no bitterness, no lashing out at his ex-wives or his kids. He didn't say one nasty word about Christine, Janelle, or Mary. He didn't spit venom about how his children betrayed him or chose their mothers over him. He was just a broken man trying to get through each day. And that's what made people believe the change was real. Because the Kody we know is hateful. He's spiteful. He says things like the way his kids feel about him is exactly how he feels about them. He cuts people off without a second thought and blames everyone else for the family's destruction. But on Special Forces, that version of Kody disappeared. He was vulnerable, humble, almost likable. So when that interrogation scene aired, it felt like a turning point. Mike Kelty even said on her Patreon that watching her dad take accountability made her want to return his phone calls. Gwen, who once said she couldn't even imagine her father loving her, might have felt a glimmer of hope. Savannah, who spent years consoling her siblings and explaining that their dad is just angry for no reason, might have thought things could finally change. But here's the thing, it was all a lie, and Kody admitted it himself. That moment of vulnerability, that emotional breakdown, that raw honesty, none of it was real. He was playing a part, following protocol, doing what he thought military guys do, and now his kids are left wondering if anything their father says can ever be trusted again. Then came the Fox 5 New York interview, and everything fell apart. The the interviewer asked Kody straight up, "Did you have genuine growth or were you just trying to get attention?" And Kody, bless his oblivious heart, told the whole truth. No, he didn't have an epiphany. No, there was no real breakthrough. He was just doing what he thought military guys do. Taking full responsibility even when it's not your fault. That's the protocol, right? If you're partly culpable, you're fully culpable. So he went into that interrogation thinking he'd play the part, say what they wanted to hear, and call it a day. Let that sink in for a second. Kody Brown sat on national television and admitted he faked his emotional breakdown. He looked those interrogators in the eye, cried about failing his kids, and none of it was genuine. It was all performance art. Method acting. A military cosplay so committed that he had the entire internet fooled. But wait, it gets worse. Kody then went on to explain that actually he's only partly to blame for everything that happened. All 18 of his kids had great relationships with him until the divorces, according to him. So really, it's the ex-wives' fault. The kids had to pick sides because of polygamy, and of course they picked their moms because they had closer relationships with them. Kody was just doing his best in a toxic situation where everyone was pointing fingers at each other on national television. Oh, and about that whole taking full responsibility thing, yeah, that was just for the cameras. In reality, the blame should be shared with his ex-wives. Every single one of them needs to take partial responsibility, because apparently in Kody's world, admitting fault on a reality competition show doesn't count as real accountability. It's just a strategic move to look good for Rudy and Billy. The interviewer even asked if his kids have seen the show, if anything has changed since he got back. And Kody couldn't even answer. He doesn't know if his kids watched him bare his soul on television. He hasn't reached out in any meaningful way. He's going through what he calls the ugly part of healing, which sounds an awful lot like doing absolutely nothing and hoping everyone else does the work for him. And then there's the hair. Oh, the hair. Kody showed up to this interview with a new haircut that somehow looks worse than the disaster he had on Special Forces. Someone took scissors to that man bun, chopped it off, and called it a day. It's shorter, tighter, but still very much a mess. And Kody actually brought it up himself, joking about how problematic his hair was on the show. Buddy, that is not the problem here. Your hair is the least of your concerns. So how did Kody go from crying on Special Forces to blaming everyone but himself in a matter of weeks? 2 words, Robyn Brown. Because this woman has perfected the art of manipulation to a degree that's honestly impressive, if it wasn't so destructive. And we have receipts, lots of them. Let's start with one of the most telling scenes in Sister Wives history, the dinner where Kody told Robyn about his conversation with Aspen. Kody starts explaining that Aspen came to him, heartbroken, asking why he doesn't like her. She literally said, "Dad, why? What is wrong? What did I do? Why don't you like me, Daddy?" This is a daughter reaching out to her father, vulnerable and desperate for connection. And what does Robyn do? She immediately stops him mid-story and reframes the entire narrative. She calls it a confrontation, not a conversation, not a plea, a confrontation. Let's be crystal clear about what just happened there. Robyn took a moment where Kody's daughter was begging for his love and twisted it into an attack. Because that's what the word confrontation means. It implies aggression, conflict, someone coming at you with an agenda. And Kody, being the absolute dope that he is, absorbs this reframing without question. In his mind, it's no longer his daughter asking why he doesn't love her. It's now one of his ex-wife's kids confronting him. Words matter. Robyn knows this. She's calculated in every single thing she says, and this was not an accident. She didn't slip up and use the wrong word. She strategically chose confrontation because it puts Kody on the defensive. It makes Aspen the aggressor and Kody the victim. And once that seed is planted, Kody starts viewing every interaction with his older kids through that lens. They're not hurting, they're attacking, they're not reaching out, they're confronting. Kody even said it himself. It's not in Aspen's nature to bring stuff like this up, so something must be wrong. He knew his daughter was hurting. He recognized that this was significant. But Robyn reframed it, and just like that, the narrative shifted. Now it's not about Kody failing his daughter. It's about the ex-wives poisoning the kids against him. It's about the older children being difficult and confrontational instead of respectful. And this is just one example. We've seen Robyn do this over and over again. Remember when she told her own kids that no one gave a damn about them because the family wasn't spending Thanksgiving together? She made it sound like Janelle and Christine chose to exclude them, when in reality, Robyn and Kody created impossible COVID protocols and expected everyone else to comply. But in Robyn's version, the other wives are selfish and anti-family. This is how she operates. She twists every situation to make herself and Kody the victims. And Kody is too manipulated to see it. Robyn's manipulation goes way deeper than just word choice. She's a master of a specific power play that's outlined in the 48 Laws of Power. Give a little power to gain a whole lot more. and Janelle finally called it out. During a conversation with her friends, Janelle said it perfectly. Robyn and Kody feed each other's egos. Sometimes you get power by giving power. Robyn plays helpless, Kody gets to be the hero, and boom, she's got him exactly where she wants him. Let's break down how this works. In polygamy, women are taught two contradictory things. First, you are nothing without your husband. You can't get into heaven without him. You need him for salvation. But second, you have to survive without him because he's got other wives and responsibilities. You have to be independent, fix your own problems, change your own light bulbs, handle everything on your own. It's a mind game that sets women up to fail no matter what they do. But Robyn figured out the loophole. She plays the damsel in distress, constantly needing Kody's help with things the other wives handled themselves. Can't change a light bulb? Call Kody. Need help moving furniture? Call Kody. Want him to be part of every little decision? Make him feel needed? Make him feel like the hero, and suddenly he's spending all his time at your house while the other wives are expected to be self-sufficient. Christine, Janelle, and Mary were all taught to be independent. They handled their homes, their kids, their problems without constantly running to Kody. But Robyn made sure Kody felt essential. She gave him a whole office in her house. She made him feel like he was the head of the household, the protector, the provider. And in return, she got his constant presence, his loyalty, and his devotion. Janelle saw right through it. She said Robyn plays the rescued damsel, and Kody ties on his cape and rides in on his white horse. It's a dynamic that benefits both of them. Robyn gets to control Kody's time and attention, and Kody gets to feel like a man instead of a guy juggling 4 independent women who don't actually need him. It's the perfect con. And here's the kicker. Robyn came from a broken family. She knows what it's like when wives don't play nice, when they demand equality, when they refuse to be manipulated. So she learned early on that if you want to win in polygamy, you can't be the strong, independent wife. You have to be the one who makes your husband feel irreplaceable. You have to give him just enough power that he thinks he's in charge while you're actually pulling every single string. That's why Janelle and the others never stood a chance. Robyn was playing a completely different game. Even after the divorces, even after losing 3 wives, Kody is still trying to pit women against each other. It's his signature move, and he can't help himself. During the Coyote Pass sale drama, Kody claimed he almost did a backdoor deal with Janelle to sell the property out from under Mary and Robyn. He made it sound like Janelle was pushing him to cut the other 2 out, to just force the sale and be done with it. But here's the truth. That's complete garbage. Janelle never wanted to screw anyone over. She wanted what was fair, what was equal, and she became Mary's ally in fighting for it. The whole backdoor deal story is just Kody trying to make Janelle look like the bad guy so Mary won't trust her. It's classic divide and conquer, keep the women suspicious of each other so they never unite against him. For years, Kody controlled his wives by making sure they didn't communicate. He'd tell one wife something completely different from what he told another, banking on the fact that they wouldn't compare notes. As long as they were focused on resenting each other, they weren't focused on holding him accountable. And it worked. For a long time, it worked beautifully. But then Mary and Janelle got attorneys. They started talking. They realized Kody had been lying to both of them, manipulating the narrative to benefit himself and Robyn. And once they united, Kody lost all his power. Suddenly, he couldn't sell Coyote Pass without their approval. He couldn't force them into an unfair split. He couldn't bully them into taking less than they deserved. So what does Kody do? He goes on television and tries to plant seeds of distrust. He tells the cameras that Janelle wanted to do a backdoor deal, that she was the one pushing to cut people out. It's a desperate attempt to fracture the alliance that cost him control. But it didn't work. Mary said it herself. Janelle was her ally. They're not best friends, but they fought the same fight and they won. The fact that Kody is still using these tactics even after the family has imploded shows how deeply ingrained this behavior is. He genuinely doesn't know how to function without pitting women against each other. And now that his ex-wives see through it, now that they refuse to play his games, Kody's left with nothing but Robyn and a whole lot of bitterness. Let's talk about something that seems trivial but is actually incredibly revealing. Facial hair. In the polygamous world, a man's grooming choices are a direct reflection of which wife has the power. If he changes his beard to please one wife when another wife prefers it differently, everyone knows who won. It's an unspoken competition, and Robyn just scored a major victory. In a recent episode, Robyn complained that Kody's face was too pokey when he tried to kiss her. She made it clear she didn't like his facial hair situation. And what does Kody do? He immediately offers to shave it all off if it means more kisses, if it means they can make out like teenagers. It was painful to watch, honestly. This grown man desperate for affection, willing to change his entire appearance because his wife dangled the promise of physical intimacy. And Robyn played it perfectly. She got all giddy and excited. Oh yes, you're gonna get so many kisses, we're gonna make out all the time. It was over the top, theatrical, exactly the kind of manipulation that keeps Kody coming coming back for more. She made it seem like this was about romance, when really it's about control. It's about making sure Kody knows that his appearance, his choices, even his facial hair all belong to her. Meanwhile, Mary loves facial hair. Christine thinks a clean-shaven face is like eating eggs without salt, completely missing something essential. And Janelle, she just doesn't want to play the game. She probably has preferences, but she's not about to compete over something as ridiculous as whether Kody has a goatee or a full beard. But Robyn knows exactly what she's doing. She's marking her territory. This isn't the first time either. Robyn's the one who got Kody to start wearing those ridiculous ringlets. She's been controlling his appearance for years, and every time he changes something to suit her, it's a message to the other wives. I won, he's mine, he'll do whatever I want. And at the end of the episode, in the preview for next week, Kody has the audacity to say that Robyn doesn't like girl games. Excuse me? She just played one of the biggest girl games in polygamy. She got him to change his entire look for her while positioning herself as the wife who's above petty competition. It's genius-level manipulation wrapped in fake innocence. The truth is, Robyn loves girl games. She's just upset when she's losing them. And right now, with 3 ex-wives who refuse to engage with adult children who see through her act, Robyn's finally facing opponents who won't play by her rules. So she cries victim, claims she hates drama, and convinces Kody that everyone else is the problem. The most heartbreaking part of all this, Kody's kids actually believed him. When that Special Forces interrogation scene aired, when they watched their father break down and admit he failed them, some of them thought maybe things could finally change. Kelty even said on her Patreon that the scene made her want to reach out to her dad to return his phone calls. And now, knowing that the whole thing was fake, that her father was just playing a role, imagine how that feels. Kelty is walking into a trap and she doesn't even know it. Because if she does reach out, if she opens herself up to reconciliation, what's waiting for her? More gaslighting, more manipulation, more of Robyn whispering in Kody's ear that his older kids are confrontational, that they're trying to attack him, that they're poisoning the family. Kelty will bare her soul trying to rebuild a relationship, and Kody will make it her fault when it doesn't work. Then there's Gwen, who said something so devastating it's hard to even process. Oh my God, imagine your father loving you. That's what this man has reduced his daughter to. A young woman who can't even fathom what it would feel like to have a dad who genuinely cares about her. And Savannah, sweet Savannah, trying to comfort her sister by saying he loves you, he's just mad at you for no reason. These girls are making excuses for a father who abandoned them emotionally years ago. Aspen asked why he doesn't like her. Gwen wonders what love from a father feels like. Savannah consoles her siblings with the hope that maybe he's just angry, not actually hateful. And through it all, Kody sits in his mansion with Robyn, convinced that he's the victim, convinced that his kids chose this, convinced that he did his best and everyone else let him down. The damage being done here is generational. These kids are going to carry this pain for the rest of their lives. They're going to struggle with trust, with self-worth, with understanding what healthy love actually looks like. And the worst part, Kody doesn't care. He's made peace with being estranged from most of his children because Robyn convinced him it's not his fault. There actually is a reason why Kody doesn't have relationships with his older kids, and that reason is Robyn. She's the final boss standing between Kody and any hope of reconciliation. As long as she's in his ear, as long as she's reframing every conversation as a confrontation and every plea for connection as an attack, nothing will change. Kody proved on Special Forces that he's capable of humility when Robyn's not around. But the second he comes home, she gets right back to work. Robyn Brown is the Brown family final boss. That's not dramatic language, that's just fact. She's the ultimate obstacle standing between Kody and any relationship with his children, and she's not going anywhere because Robyn has convinced both herself and Kody that everything happening in their lives is destiny, that God has blessed them, that their $2.2 million mansion is proof of their righteousness. This God-splaining, this constant invoking of divine will is one of Robyn's most powerful weapons. When they bought their mansion, she said it felt like destiny, like God was directing them to a different place. When her house in Las Vegas sold quickly, she credited God for looking out for her. Everything good that happens is a sign of heavenly favor. Everything bad is someone else's spiritual failure. It's manipulation wrapped in religion, and Kody eats it up. Because if Robyn is close to God, if she's spiritually in tune, then questioning her means questioning God himself. And Kody's not about to do that. So when Robyn says the family is falling apart because the other wives broke their covenants, Kody believes it. When she says God blessed them with this mansion as a reward for staying faithful, Kody nods along. When she frames every challenge as spiritual warfare, Kody grabs his sword and fights beside her. But here's what Robyn conveniently ignores. the damage she's done, the family she's helped destroy. Preston Jessup's family, for example. Robyn came from a broken home, she married into Preston's family, and that situation imploded too. But somehow, it's never her fault. It's always everyone else who's spiritually lacking, everyone else who's breaking covenants, everyone else who's causing problems. And now she sits in her castle, literally calling it their castle, finding solace in her mansion while Kody's 18 kids are scattered and broken. She talks about how hard this is for her, how much damage the divorces have caused, but she's not talking about the kids, she's talking about herself, about how long it's going to take her and Kody to recover from the financial hit of selling Coyote Pass, about how unfair it is that Meri demanded equal treatment instead of just accepting what Robyn deemed fair. Robyn plays victim better than anyone. She cries on cue, talks about her broken heart, and makes everything about her suffering while actual children are wondering why their father doesn't love them. And Kody, trapped in her web, can't see it. He genuinely believes Robyn is the injured party here, that she's been nothing but supportive while the ex-wives tore the family apart. The truth is simpler. Robyn wanted Kody all to herself, and she got exactly what she wanted. No more sister wives to share him with. No more older kids demanding his attention. Just her children, and a husband she's completely molded into her puppet. Here's something that might surprise you. Kody Brown isn't naturally a hateful person, and Special Forces proved it. For a week and a half, away from Robyn's influence, away from the mansion and the echo chamber, Kody was almost likable. He didn't exhibit anger or bitterness or malice toward anyone. He didn't say one hateful word about his kids. There was no forget those kids, the way they feel about me is exactly how I feel about them. That version of Kody disappeared. And that's the most telling part of this entire mess, because it means the hateful, spiteful, vindictive Kody we see on Sister Wives only exists when he's in Robyn's orbit. She's the one feeding his victimhood. She's the one convincing him that his children are attacking him instead of reaching out for love. She's the one poisoning every interaction until Kody genuinely believes he's the injured party. Watch Special Forces again and you'll see it. Kody's capable of humility. He's capable of admitting fault. He's capable of being vulnerable and human, but only when Robyn isn't there whispering in his ear, only when he's removed from the toxic environment she's created. The moment he came home, she got right back to work, and any progress he might have made, any growth that could have happened, it all evaporated. This is why reconciliation is impossible. Not because Kody doesn't love his kids, he probably does in his own broken way, but because Robyn will never allow it. She spent years building a fortress around Kody, convincing him that everyone outside their mansion is the enemy. And she's not about to let that fortress crumble just because some of his kids want their dad back. Janelle was right when she said Robyn and Kody are equally yoked. They feed off each other, they validate each other's worst impulses. They create a reality where they're the victims and everyone else is the villain. And as long as that dynamic exists, nothing changes. Kody will continue to be estranged from most of his children. Robyn will continue to play the martyr, and the kids will continue to suffer. The saddest part is that Kody had a chance. Special Forces gave him a real opportunity to face himself, to understand the damage he's caused, to maybe possibly start making things right. But he threw it away. He admitted on national television that the whole thing was fake, that he was just playing a part, that he never actually believed he was fully to blame. And now his kids know the truth. The interrogation scene wasn't real. The tears weren't genuine. The accountability was just protocol. And any hope they had of rebuilding a relationship with their father just got obliterated by his own big mouth. So here's the question for you. Do you think Robyn will ever lose her grip on Kody? Or is he too far gone, too deeply manipulated to ever break free? Can any of his kids get through to him, or is Robyn the final boss they'll never be able to defeat? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because this conversation is far from over. And listen, if you made it this far, you're clearly invested in this family's drama. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned because the next video is waiting, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. The Brown family saga is nowhere near finished, and we're going to be here covering every twist, every manipulation, every moment of chaos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.